Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the New Beginnings in 2021. This week, I want to talk about the trap of results, the trap of outcome. When I first started my entrepreneurial journey in 2015, I decided to join my husband, and I was not only supporting his business, but I also decided to practice as an independent leadership consultant and trainer under his brand name. And I created my first product, which was a highly experiential leadership workshop, especially for students. So it was a student leadership program. And I had run a similar program for students from some of the most renowned schools in India before. And that gave me confidence that this product can become my flagship product. So I built it from scratch and it was an awesome product. I created a video explaining the product and I built a beautiful proposal and I sent it out to about 200, 250 schools in India and Asia. And then I was waiting. It was almost like a wait for the universe to respond. And I got inquiries from about 8 to 10 schools. And finally, I got conversions from just 2 schools. And even in those 2 schools, one school requested me to do a demo session, which was for free. And of course, I agreed to do it. So that was a free workshop. And the only workshop that gave me some money was just from this one school. So out of the 250 schools that I had sent it out to, I just got one conversion. And this entire process took about 6 months, from the time I started conceptualizing and building my product to the time I got my first program. It was about 6 months. But by then, my enthusiasm and energy had dwindled. And I started to feel that, oh my God, I have made so much effort and all I got was just one program. And that's not enough to sustain me for the rest of the year. And so about 8 months after that, I kind of gave up and took up a job. Of course, thankfully in the same field, I ended up working as a senior manager for a training company. Today, after 5 years, as I re-enter this entrepreneurial journey, the journey that I had left halfway, and when I look back and ask myself what went wrong, I realized that there was nothing wrong with the product. There was nothing wrong with my love for the work that I was doing. I was extremely passionate about it. There was nothing wrong with my marketing efforts, my business development strategy. I think I had done it all. But the only thing that went wrong was very soon my focus shifted from taking action to the outcome of the action or the result of the action. And the moment my focus shifted to the results, my source of inner motivation became dependent on the result, became dependent on something that was external of me and something that was not 100% in my control. And when your source of inner motivation becomes dependent on something external, something that is not 100% in your control, it becomes difficult to sustain your inner motivation for a long period of time and you end up giving up. And this is where I want to bring your attention to the wisdom shared in the ancient scripture of the Bhagavad Gita, which says that focus your attention on taking action and the fruits of action will come to you. Do not allow your action to be corrupted by your desire for the fruit or outcome. This ancient piece of wisdom is ever so profound and relevant in the modern times. This particular era that we are all living in, whether you call it the post-COVID era, the Industry 4.0 era, the digital era, or whatever name you decide to give it, gone are the times when we used to decide our action based on our outcome, because those were far predictable times. You knew that if you finished your engineering, you would get a job in a good company. And you knew that if you continued to work in that company for several years, you would rise to a senior position. And you also knew that if you continued to work in that company for a lifetime, you could predict that you would have so much bank balance by the time you retire. Those were predictable times. But today, we are living in extremely unpredictable times. And so the only way you can thrive is by focusing your attention on the action and by allowing your action itself, the journey itself, to be your ultimate source of inspiration and innate motivation. The moment your focus shifts from action to the outcome of action, the quality of action deteriorates. And because the quality of your action is substandard, the outcome and the result is also substandard. Look at the mobile companies, the technology companies, look at Samsung, look at Apple. Every second month, they have a new product in market. And for those of you who stay very updated with tech news and what is the latest gadget in market, you are always waiting for the next product to come. If one product does not do well and if they don't get a good response, what do? They produce more products and put more products out there. If a product does extremely well, then what do? Of course, they increase the production of that particular product, but they also introduce new products in the market. They keep producing and adding value, and their focus is always on the action to such an extent that the consumer cannot help but take note of them. So similarly, if you are an entrepreneur or if you have set out to create and achieve something, don't just stop after your first product or service, but just keep taking action. Whether or not you get the result, focus your attention on taking action and keep adding value, keep expanding yourself, keep adding more products and more services to such an extent that your target audience and the universe cannot help but take note of you. So as we step into 2021, let 2021 be the year where we are focused on taking action. And that's why it is so essential to align your resolutions, your dreams, your aspirations, your goals, whatever it is that you're trying to achieve with the right path. And as you focus on taking action and journey through to your destination, continue to grow so much that by the time you arrive at your destination, you have grown bigger than your destination. You have grown bigger than your dreams. And that's the only way you can achieve things that are far beyond your imagination. Because then the universe will conspire to make things happen for you. So wishing you a very happy and prosperous new year, new age, and new era ahead. All the best and thank you. Let's meet again next week.